you're always going to have a generator running. Most of them, I just saw them move a rig. They moved 4 diesel generators as big as a semi, that kind of stuff. These little lights are actually on right now, but they go through and they generate all their own power. They have electric motors that actually turn the rigs themselves, do the drilling bits. They have everything there. They've got their own potable water supply. They got their own potties. They got everything right there. The problem is all that stuff is running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, okay? So next slide. They work 12-hour shifts in Carroll County. They're on for 14 days straight. They're off for 7 days straight. What do they do in the 7 days off?
Drink.
No, they drive back to Texas. They do. They leave straight from there. In fact, there was an accident reported not too long ago where a whole group of 5 guys was just leaving the rig after their 12-hour shift. They were going to drive back to Arkansas or Texas or something. They made it 10 miles. The guy fell asleep, ran off the road, killed them all.
Oh my God.
So that's the kind of stuff. No holidays. Can be noisy. It depends. Surprisingly, the rig that's very near my wife and I, which is this rig, we are north and east of that. The prevailing winds in Ohio are from the south and west. It's actually noisier at our house a mile away from this rig than it is the guy that lives right across the street. Every time I go over there, I'm like, how come it's so quiet in his house? I'm like, well, the wind's blowing all the noise our way, I guess. But again, electric motors, and you will get to know backup beepers like you cannot believe, those safety beepers. And if anybody's ever been around new construction for a house, like with plumbers, it sounds like 1,000 plumbers dropping pipe all the time. Just, because they got these big racks of pipe. Yeah, it's a lot of clanging of pipe. Next slide. You can't see this very well, but some of them have these sound barriers here, and that's what the industry calls it. I tend to think of maybe like a dome of silence more and keep us from looking in. This particular rig was one that they were doing a test on where they actually had the rig kind of on great big wheels, and they didn't want to let anybody really see that because rather than like picking up the rig and moving it over to the next well hole, they said, what if we kind of put rails down and had these big wheels and then we could just move the rig so it would kind of like be a ladder on wheels, I was like, well, I guess that's pretty cool, but I don't want to be up top when they're doing it. So I think that's the reason why they had this. They're doing this in some cases, usually when they're close to the road to keep gawkers like me from looking. So next slide. Drill cuttings. In Carroll County, we do not have any open pits for drill cuttings. Drill cuttings are like when you're drilling a piece of wood and the wood comes out of the hole. Same thing here. It's dirt and rock and everything like that. It comes out, it's going into these gray kind of dumpster-like containers. And then those dumpster-like containers are taken out with this, it's kind of like a backhoe thing here, and dumped into another truck.